Bowl bakers, I'm really excited for today's Q&A. Thank you so much for sending in all your great questions. I'm going to try and answer as many as I can and give you a little bit of better insight into me and where I'm from. Also, tomorrow is a full episode of Bigger Bolder Baking where I'm doing Thanksgiving themed recipes as part of a collaboration, so make sure you come back for that. Also, some really big news. Next week is the sequel to my homemade no machine ice cream video featuring your favorite holiday flavors, so make sure you check that out. So I thought I'd start out by telling you a little bit where I'm from and just how I came to be here. I am from Wexford, a little town in southeast of Ireland, and I lived there pretty much all of my life until I was around 25. It's a beautiful little part of the world. So do I have any brothers or sisters? I do. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. All of my family live in Ireland except for my 1 brother who lives in New York. So who is my inspiration for baking and when did I start baking? That is a great question. My mom is my inspiration for baking. My mom is my inspiration for a lot of the stuff I do in my life. She was an amazing cook and baker, and the best thing about her is when I was young, she just let me into the kitchen and let me do whatever I wanted. She got mad at me when I made a mess, because I often did, but I just had a lot of freedom and it just helped me to develop my skills and just to keep on going. The first thing I ever made was an apple crumble. Apple crumble is super easy because all it is flour, butter and sugar all rubbed together with your fingertips. So like any kid can do that. And I remember really well doing it with my mom. I remember the dish and everything. I can almost even remember the smell of it. So when did I start having an interest in baking? When I was a very young age, I would read all my mom's cookbooks. I would read all of her magazines. Everywhere around the house you could find me with a stack of books beside me. I loved the pictures. I just loved how beautiful it looked. It started very, very young with me and I just never shook it, which is great because then it became my career. Did you learn the basics of baking from culinary school or was it by developing your hobby? So it was from developing my hobby, but from developing my hobby at home, it was what sparked my love for cooking and baking in general. And then I went to culinary school. Another question, what culinary school did you go to? I went to study professional cookery in Dublin in a college called Brewer Street, where I did my certificate, and then I went down to Ballymaloe Cookery School. If any of you guys don't know it, you should look it up, to a woman called Darina Allen. And her whole ethos is fresh, local ingredients. She's a fantastic cook, fantastic baker, and I learned a lot from her. And I think I take a lot of that and put it into what I do today on Bigger Bolder Baking and just in my recipes in general. So next question, have you ever worked in a bakery, restaurant, and if so, for how long? I have. I have been working in the hospitality industry for around 12 years, so a very long time. I've worked in Michelin star restaurants, in cafes, in bakeries. I've worked as a private chef in Italy. I worked on ski slopes in Australia. I have done every job imaginable. So why did you decide to move to America? I moved to America around 7 years ago to do a bread apprenticeship in South Lake Tahoe, if you know it, on the border of Nevada and California. I loved California so much. I didn't want to go home to Ireland. I knew always when I was young that I wanted to live in the United States, so I thought that this was the perfect time to start settling down and just build my life here. From there, I moved to San Francisco and I got a job as a pastry chef in a Michelin star restaurant. And after working there for a while and kind of honing my skills, I decided to open up a catering business, catering specifically for tech companies, doing these really over-the-top, outrageous breakfasts, pancakes, waffles, all sorts of stuff. And that is actually kind of where the idea for Bigger Bolder Baking started. Gemma, are you married? Do you have any kids or do you have any pets? So yes, I am married. And if you ever wonder who is behind the cameras, working everything there and editing my beautiful videos, then that is my husband. I don't have any kids, but we do have one terrier, and his name is Waffles.
Say hi, hello, Waffles.
Aww. Waffles is a rescue. Come here to me. Oh, hi man. Waffles, in every single video, imagine that Waffles is by my feet because he's always waiting for something to drop. Aren't you, man? He is a Wheaton Terrier and we rescued him around a year ago. He looks kind of scared. Say hi, man. And if you actually haven't watched the churro waffle video, he's in that. He makes a little debut. So this is who is in my house, just the 3 of us. Say bye. Say bye. Yeah. So where do you live now? Right now, I still live in California and I live in Santa Monica, which is a city in Los Angeles, and it's right by the beach. It is absolutely beautiful and I could not be happier here. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about YouTube. What is my story? Simply, it is, I was living in San Francisco. Myself and my husband were looking for a change. We wanted to create something in the digital space around cooking and entertainment, kind of marry our two loves together, the two things that we know how to do really well. So we quit our jobs, we moved to LA, and we started working on this YouTube channel. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves in for. We didn't really even know what to do. Like, my husband had to learn how to produce and edit. I had to learn how to try and host a show. I knew how to bake, so that was half of the issue for me. And it's been a really fun journey. It's been great with the audience. I've learned a huge amount. It's like still learning, and I hope that it keeps on continuing and getting bigger and bolder. When did I start the YouTube channel? In this year, in February. So it's actually not even a year old. It's like 10 months old. I like this question because it explains a lot about why I do what I do. Why do you like to make your desserts big and bold? And my answer to that is kind of like, why not? Why do you want to just bring cupcakes to a party when you can bring a cupcake bouquet and really stand out? Like, why do you want to make just brownies when you can make pumpkin and chocolate brownie? Like, to me, it's always like, it should be fun. It should be a celebration. Like, make it big and over the top. Like, nobody is ever going to say to you, like, is that not a bit too much? I think, like, make something, go big and bold, make it over the top, and it just makes you feel good. It looks good, and everybody always loves it. What is your favorite recipe from your channel? My favorite recipe from my channel is ice cream, simply because it works. You guys have repeated it. You've sent me loads of photos. You've had really great success with it, which is what makes me love a recipe, is knowing that it works well for you guys. So ice cream is one of my favorites. What is my favorite video? That's a good question, because that's very different to what's my favorite recipe. My favorite video is actually ice cream sandwiches. And if you haven't seen ice cream sandwiches, I really suggest you check it out. I think it's a really beautiful video. I just love the music. I love how it looks. It's one of my favorites. What is your favorite thing about making YouTube videos? My favorite thing is actually not really the recording and the making. It is uploading the video and seeing the comments, all the positive comments, all of the nice things you have to say, the interaction with you guys. I know that you can see me and I can't see you, but like, even when your profile pictures come up, I can picture you in my head. So I kind of feel like I know a lot of you. So that's my favorite part, is the connection and actually having like conversation, and just, it makes it all worthwhile. So how do I stay slim and resist the temptation of eating what I bake? I eat a fair share of what I bake. I work out a lot. I love Pilates. I love exercising. I walk my dog. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm just under 6 feet tall. So I think that's one of my saving graces as well. If I was a little bit shorter, I'd be in trouble. But when we're finished baking and we're finished shooting on Fridays, it goes out to our neighbours. We take a little bit for ourselves and it goes out to our neighbours, because as beautiful and as delicious as these things are, I can only eat like so much, so everything in moderation. Here's a good question. Do you film in your kitchen? Yes, this is my kitchen. It is a very small kitchen. And maybe one day I'll actually give you guys a kitchen tour just to show you like our setup. But we have 2 cameras, we have some lights, we work with a lot of natural light. And between the 2 of us, we have to maneuver around this kitchen and try and get everything set up and broken down. And it's a lot of work, but because there's only 2 of us, it's not too bad. Around how long does it take to make a video? So it takes around 5 to 6 hours to shoot one of my recipes. Even if it's a short one, it still takes that amount of time. And then the editing takes between like 25 hours, could take 30 hours. It is an incredible amount of time. Putting in the extra long hours and all the extra work, I think makes for like what makes our videos so special. Are you planning on doing anything special for your 100,000 subscriber mark? That's a great question. I am, but I don't know what. So if you guys have any ideas of a great video to do for 100,000 subscribers, please let me know, because I want to celebrate big and bold. I've grown so much over the last 10 months and I really want to make a really good video to celebrate. So what are my favorite YouTube channels? I'm a big fan of Nerdy Nummies, Cupcakes and Cardio, How to Cook That, Anne Reardon. I love Jamie Oliver's Food Tube. There's some great, very talented people over there. Cupcake, Gemma, the Sorted Food Guys, who doesn't love them. Entertaining with Beth, I'm very fond of. And Alicia, Mind Over Munch, I advise you check out all these channels. I'll put a link in the description box below and you can go check them out. What other YouTube bakers would you love to do a collab with? I would love to do a collab with Jen over cookies, cupcakes and cardio. So if there's any way I can make that happen, that would be awesome. Where'd you get your inspiration for your recipes? So all of the suggestions that you guys leave for me in the comments below the videos, I keep a Google document of every single one of those. I go through those, I go onto Pinterest, I spend hours on Pinterest. I go through some like great blogs that I'm fond of, and I just try and take a little bit of inspiration from everywhere and try and mold it and form it, make it big and bold, and hopefully something that you guys will like. I spent a lot, probably the majority of my week researching recipes because I just want to make sure they're absolutely perfect. Here's a good question. Holly Jupp asks, what are your 3 favorite most things to bake? I love to bake bread, and I hope to, in the new year, actually do more bread with you guys if you want to see it. Meringue, because I adore meringue, and oatmeal cookies. I always keep frozen oatmeal dough in my freezer, and then every so often I bake a few off for myself. So what are my 5 must-have tools for the kitchen? That's a good question because I always reach out for the same pieces of equipment every time I go cooking. So scissors, always. Every time I'm cooking, no matter what it is, I need a scissors. My measuring spoons, very important. My lovely measuring cups. Can't go without those. So this is kind of a funny one, a ruler. I don't know about you guys, but I always need a ruler, especially when it comes to baking. So I have to have one of those in my kitchen. And last but not least, a heat resistant spatula. Make sure that it's good quality, that it's not going to melt in your little pots. Always have one of these on hand. So do you work another job? The simple answer to that is no. Bigger Bolder Baking is myself and my husband's full-time job. We work really hard on it. We put a lot of hours into it. We get a lot of joy out of it. And it's something that I want us to go even bigger and bolder and just hopefully bring me a lot of happiness in the future. If you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Savory and sweet. So for savory, I would eat Thai chicken curry with rice noodles every day for the rest of my life because I absolutely love it. For sweet, I would say I'm going to give a little shout out now to my meringue roulade with bananas and butterscotch. I would eat that every single day for breakfast, lunch and dinner. I just love it. This is a good question because coming up to Christmas, you might want to add this to your Christmas wish list. But what is your favorite kitchen appliance? I love the little hand beaters because they're inexpensive, they never break down, and you can use them for almost every recipe, especially because some people don't have big stand mixers. So those little hand mixers are awesome. I have some questions here that I couldn't really put into any other category. They're kind of fun ones, so I'm going to try and answer them as best as I can. Gemma, do you have a cafe? No, I don't. What is your favorite icing? It's buttercream. Gemma, how many eggs can you crack at the one time? 2. Which I'm hoping is more than others. What is your favorite color? It is red. I love the color red. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Honeycomb, which I showed you how to do in the No Machine ice cream video. It's my favorite. What is your favorite Starbucks drink? That is a great question. My favorite Starbucks drink is a salted caramel hot chocolate, which usually they only sell around the holidays, but during that season, I probably have like one a day. I drink it, then I feel sick, and then I forget about it, and then I get one the next day and I feel sick again. What is your favorite candy? My favorite candy is a Twix bar. I love Twixes. What country would you like to visit the most? I think I would like to visit Japan because I've never been to Asia at all. I love Japanese food, so I think my next trip will be Japan. Have you ever been to Canada? Yes, I have. My good friend is from there. What do you think? It's lovely. I love Canada and I like Canadians a lot. Hey Gemma, what do you miss most about Ireland? I miss my family, I miss my friends, and I miss the food. Very simply. Milk, dark or white chocolate? I like this question. I would say dark chocolate, even though I love white chocolate. This question is from the Custard Slice Guy, and it is, would you prefer to be a baker or a cook? So I'm trained as a cook, but I would definitely prefer to be a baker, even though it's earlier hours. I just think it's much more interesting and intricate, and I just love like getting baked goods at the end. Did you ever ride a horse as a child? Yes, I did. That my family had a horse actually in our garden. Somebody asked, do you watch cartoons? And they wrote haha at the end of it because I don't think they think I watch cartoons, but I do. I watch a lot of Family Guy. I watch a lot of The Simpsons. I love Bob's Burgers, all of those kinds of cartoons. I'm addicted to them. Here's a nice question. What's your favorite holiday and what makes it special? I love Christmas. It's my most favorite time of the year. Just the weather, the food, everything. I think being with your family makes it really special, and just in Ireland, we have a lot of traditions around Christmas, and that's just my most favourite time. And every year I hope to go home to Ireland, and this year I actually am going home to Ireland, so I really look forward to that. And that's it, that's all my questions. If you guys have any more, then feel free to write them in the comments below. If you're a subscriber of my channel, you will know that I work really hard on trying to answer every single comment. So please bear with me and I'll try to get to as many as I can. Also, make sure you come back tomorrow for my Thanksgiving pies, where I'm going to make 3 amazing big and bold pies. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you back here again next Thursday for more bigger, bolder baking.